Hi everyone. 40-degree day here in Adelaide, but we're still bringing you guys another Geoguessr Explained video. Let's get to it. One thing I noticed in the last episode, by the way, I'm going to open up Notepad so I can put down the links here. One thing I noticed in the last episode was that we had a bunch of people going, no guest shaming, a bunch of people going Taiwan on South Korea here, and I just wanted to say, because this one's quite an easy mistake to fix, that we have the single yellow line, and any road of this size in Taiwan would have a double yellow line. In fact, I can't really think of any time that they do a single yellow line. It's probably possible, but it's just one of these countries where they really favor double instead of single. And of course, in Korea, you see single. So that is, and in fact, double yellow lines are pretty rare in Korea. So it's a pretty good way of telling them apart, I would say. All right, let's head into no moving, put it on challenge mode, and see how we go. Should be quite fun here. Well, hopefully I can do a better job of explaining today because it's much earlier and I'm much more awake. Okay, first one here. So I'm immediately wanting to check the language of that sign. That should be the first focus here. But I'm noticing that the soil is very dark in a way that does not look European. It's also probably too dry for anywhere in Europe apart from Spain. The sun is probably in the north, but it is hard to tell from this angle, to be fair. I don't know, it looks quite like the Andes to me, and like the kind of decrepit sign would also fit for that idea, but I could also see US, Mexico, Turkey, a number of other things being reasonable, so let's have a look around here. The Google car will probably provide us some help as well. Okay, so we have a black on yellow chevron, and this one is common throughout non-Brazil South America. Not so common in Argentina compared to the red and white. They tend to like to do the red and white quite a lot, but I think they do have it in Argentina as well. But yeah, particularly common throughout the Andes, I would say, also in North America. But just good to know that it's not in Brazil, and not really in Europe either, which is a big help as well. There's no country in Europe that does that chevron, so that is great. Australia does it too, of course. We have the front of the car here. We can tell because it's kind of this faded blur without any tab. And so that one would indicate that we're probably driving on the right here, but it's hard to say. The sun is directly north, so southern hemisphere. And immediately with the blue car, southern hemisphere, dry landscape, I'm thinking of the Andes here, Argentina, Chile. This car is too blue, I want to say. Yeah, it's too blue to be Peru, where they don't have any blue car. It's kind of like a faded blue car, but yeah. And then over here, looks like it's Spanish, but that's kind of more me inferring. It is hard to read that for sure, but it's a bit decrepit. Again, I could see such a thing in the US, but sun north, the fact it's so rusty, both of which would point me away from US, Mexico. We got snow as well, and it's new coverage, I think, right? 2023? Okay, not too new. Interesting. I'm struggling to work out what color this car is because of the dirt. It shouldn't matter too much, but yeah, I think you can see such in Chile and Argentina, so it shouldn't matter too much. Okay, which country actually is it though? I think it's more Chilean here, just because I feel like a lot of the coverage in... but that's a weird signpost for Chile. The very dark one, I would not expect that for Chile. That feels more Argentinian or just away from Chile. I feel like that is pretty rare there. So maybe I'm leaning back towards more Arg. You can often check in Arg if there's like a bit of a wire sticking out here. It often happens at the side right of the car. This, of course, is just a shadow, so that's not going to be helpful at all. But just a thought. It could have been, especially 2023. Would have been pretty likely. Yeah, not too sure here, to be honest with you. I guess I will guess Arg, because I just don't think I would see like a black signpost in Chile. But if it's Chile, we'll investigate. I think maybe towards San Juan La Rioja would make the most sense here. But no, I think it is Chile with a weird signpost, because I'm struggling to place it in Arg, to be honest. So I'm gonna go in La Serena here. And okay, it was towards Copiapo. I feel like 23 is probably a bit rarer there. It's actually 2022 coverage. I wonder if, yeah, because the 2023 was baiting me a bit there. I'm not sure if it would commonly be 2023 on the copyright up here, but it was this extremely rusted signpost. I guess we're in the mountains, so the signpost probably less trustworthy, but that is very strange for Chile, I would say. And this is probably just more of the coverage that it was able to give me the correct answer. What was that, by the way? I thought it was like another Google camera mounted to it, but it's not. Yeah, this light blue car, almost white, is very common in Chile. Okay, next one here. This is much more straightforward. So we can tell by the striped curb and the kind of date palms here and the like sandstone, very whitewashed buildings here that this is going to be one of the Gulf states. Like, it's exceedingly obvious to me, having played so much, especially with the high-rise buildings in the background. It also makes sense. There's a lot of wealth in the Gulf states too, and actually high-rises will completely eliminate Oman. Oman does not have high-rises pretty much for the whole country, I think. Muscat is not developed in the same way that you see in Dubai, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. Obviously, Abu Dhabi's not even on Street View, but you know what I mean. We're driving right-hand side of the road. We can tell from that sign, and at this point, it's easy car meta, because if you have a normal car blur, just small car blur with the brake light and the front of the car being black, then you know that Qatar's impossible, because Qatar always has a big truck, and so does Oman. So therefore, the black car would just be here. Now, do be careful. The black car also appears in Israel. I'm pretty sure the Israeli black car does not have the brake light, but regardless, they look quite different. So I don't even know, because I never even needed to check. Single yellow line in the center with the white outer lines would also... Actually, I think these are yellow as well. I think this is triple yellow lines, yeah. Triple yellow lines would not be in Israel either. It's something they do like a lot in the UAE, especially compared to Qatar and Oman as well. So, pretty nice, actually. Let us guess Sharjah or Dubai here. I think with so many high-rises, I would opt for Dubai. That's Sharjah, okay. Next one here. I've got the Taiwanese pole paint, so let's just see. I mean, on really thin roads with the kind of Italian style lines with the white on either side, that's very common in Taiwan as well. I'm just gonna look if there's anything else that's useful here. You can actually use the letters here to determine your coordinates. Now, I don't actually remember how it works, so someone in the comments can tell us. It says L, and then it says Y, and then it says E. I feel like the useful one is perhaps the Y, but it might be the L. If it's the L, so basically it goes like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I don't know. Something like that, and it ends up towards like Y or something at the end. I don't think it goes all the way to Z, but it can help you get the latitude based on that, and even the longitude too. I guess I would estimate if it's L, I would estimate it's here, and if it's Y, I would estimate it's here. But it kind of looks more like the middle, so I'm going to trust that the L is the actual trustworthy letter here. Is there anything else? I mean, tall number plates with a bit of blue text. Are they? I don't know if they're normally blue or black text. I think they can probably have both. Yeah, buildings. Yep, Asian vibes. These grates are very common in Taiwan as well. That's a pretty good meta, I would say. Let's go for the middle here. And it was actually... Okay, the Y must have been the trustworthy one here. Let's actually go and check that out quickly. So, moving towards it. L, L, Y, E, D. Yeah, so the Y should be the trustworthy one there. Let's get another poll just to confirm. You can always go and check this stuff out for yourselves. Yeah, so I would say so. And now let's actually just solidify it by checking down here. That's going to be a highway. Might not have poles. Looks like this should be... No, we're going to go for a side road. This road looks like it would have poles on it to me. And sure enough it does. Let's go here. The blue things are very common, so I would be surprised if we can't see them here. Maybe we need a more minor road in order to see them. So maybe something like... Well, this is cool coverage. I feel like this should be good, no? Here we are. Too faded. Well, I would probably just abandon this street because they're probably all going to be the same. V again. Yeah, so this line should be the trustworthy one, I think. And, yeah, I can't be bothered bringing up the map, but that's enough. Okay, next one here. Round 4. Driving right, we can see the front of the Google car. We've got a very exposed Google car, like the blur's not even covering it, but this happens a lot when it's sunset, so you can't really trust that. If you have a meta for exposed cars, when it's sunset, for some reason it causes the car to become exposed. Double yellow lines, dashed outer lines potentially here, but it looks like these are like kind of stop-off bays here, so it's not necessarily trustworthy because you can see a lot of dashed outer lines in Mexico, but I don't really think it's Mexico. Wooden poles here, I would say. Flat landscape, wooden posts on the fences, some eucalyptus trees here, some agriculture, maybe like wheat or something. Let's have a look around here. So with the combination we had so far, I was thinking Argentina. Double yellow line is possible in Mexico. It's less likely than a single yellow line, but maybe on a road this big they would normally do double yellow line in Mexico. But it's just too flat. There's only a few places that are this flat in Mexico. I would say like mostly along the US border, like Matamoros, maybe like around Los Mochis is relatively flat, Mexicali. But, you know, most of these places you can at least see some hills, even in just a view like this. So that's obviously much more common to see this kind of thing in Argentina, which is so flat. Turning around, we can see there is Argentina because of this sign here, which is RN something, maybe 7 or something. And yeah, that would put us on this road potentially. So RN stands for Ruta Nacional. It's just the bigger type of roads in Argentina. Here's those like kind of dark signposts that I was talking about yesterday and today, which is why I thought the other one was Arg, but which didn't make sense in the end. Yeah, double yellow, wooden poles, etc. Yeah, a palm tree there. It's not too helpful in Argentina. Palm trees, if you see a lot of palm trees, then it's probably up towards Corrientes, Resistencia, Formosa. But if you just see the odd one, it's not really too helpful. Obviously, it's not too far south, though, because it gets cold down there. Yeah, I don't know. It's flat as a pancake. I would probably just go Buenos Aires here. Other legitimate guesses would be Santa Fe, Cordoba, Entre Rios. The angle of the road does fit. Doesn't fit for the 7, though. I think the 7 looked a bit different here, but I've lost it. Where was the 7? Here. Yeah, 7 doesn't really have that angle unless we were... I mean, that's the 41 now, so... Yeah, oh, this is the 7. Oh, wait, 7 actually does have this angle a bit. So, yeah, could be there. Looks like it's a divided road, yeah. Okay, well, it probably doesn't say 7 then. Anyway, I like Buenos Aires. And it was the 7, just further on. Okay, fair enough. Became non-divided, so I should have trusted my eyes a bit more. And the last one here. Very simple, although I could see someone missing it, so let's have a look. So rock wall, immediately Asia, like this kind of rock wall with the drains. Banana plants. Areca palms, these small topped palms that I was talking about. Areca palms, quick lesson. So this kind of palm, let's see, we got more here, this kind of palm here. So Kerala, Northeast India and Bangladesh, very spammed here. Particularly like down here it's giga spammed, and over here it's giga spammed. Occasionally Thailand, occasionally Cambodia, occasionally Malaysia, or pretty decently commonly Malaysia. A lot in North Sumatra and West Sumatra, like this kind of area here. A few here. They're not common in Philippines at all, and then they are very common in southern Taiwan. So they appear here and there. It's kind of random, honestly, but they are very useful for sure. And we've got Chinese here. That's definitely good to know. Nantao County. So counties. Taiwan is split into counties, so that's good. This particular font is loved in Taiwan and China, I feel. Like, I see it on Chinese products here all the time in Australia. And then 049 should be the area code, which would put us about halfway up the country. Oh, and there we go, Nantao County. So it really does work, doesn't it? It might even say something more detailed, but yeah. Good to look around here. You get some extra points just by having a bit of basic knowledge. Front of the Google car here, it's like kind of that whitish, bluish color that we saw in Chile as well. And yeah, I think that's about it. But concrete poles that are round with this kind of pole top, yeah, very much Taiwan. Oh, and then we got even the pole paint, in case you missed it, which you could have, because I did until now. And there we go. Makes sense. And we went up with 23k, but was a very straightforward seed, to be fair. Okay, let's head to NMPZ. Kind of been yapping on this one, but I thought I'd give a better showing than last time. Okay, and we head through. Let's go. Okay, first things first, front of the car here. So, going to be driving left. Gravel on the side of the road. Quite rocky landscape and quite red soil here, although white soil on the side of the road. lowish trees and bushes off to the distance here. Now, because it's left-hand drive, what really are options? In South Africa, you'd see the back of the car, not the front of the car, so you would see no color here. And South Africa's car is always blue as well, so you'd see the blue back of the car instead of the white front of the car, like we have here. As I said, well, let's just continue to run through. I kind of made it obvious, but, South America not driving left. Left-hand drive countries up here are all too cold, apart from Malta, which looks nothing like this. And then we're kind of left in Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand, too mountainous, pretty much everywhere. So yeah, this is just Australia. And we have these low eucalyptus trees, which I was talking about being kind of from here to here yesterday. I feel like it's too far away to say for sure, but I feel like the species is different here, and it's difficult to describe why. But yeah, I don't really think it's those kind of trees. As I said, at least we know that the white car is not in Western Australia. So, yeah, we're probably leaning towards New South Wales, Victoria, South Australia here. With this landscape, maybe even Queensland. And yeah, I'm not going to trust the low trees here. I think it is low trees, but a different kind. So I'm going to go New South Wales Central here. It's pretty flat out this direction, to be fair. West, Southwest, I don't know. It almost looks like Queensland here, but it's very hard to describe why beyond vibes. So I'm just going to go here. And it was Queensland, but kind of a crazy road here. When did that even get coverage? Right to the border. I couldn't tell you how to get there without lining the road. But it is very barren and desolate. So probably even here we would have seen some trees. You can see these light green marks. Probably denote some trees. So, but it would take a real commitment to actually guess there in a tournament. Next one here, pretty useful. A lot of useful info here. So number one, we're painting the bottom of the trees white, which is something you see a lot in post-Soviet countries or post-communist countries. Romania, Baltics, Russia, Ukraine, even like Kyrgyzstan, but even like Africa does it pretty commonly. You can see it in South America, you can see it in Mexico. So it's definitely not a Western country thing to do, but it is definitely like Eastern Europe and the second, third world that does it a lot for whatever reason. Maybe it's for visibility. I feel like it's probably for that, but I'm not sure. And then we've got these sign backs, which are folded. Can you see how these sign backs are folded at the back? So that is an interesting detail. Most countries in Europe do not do this, but they kind of have tabs that are folded back. I'll open the lock after, so you guys can see. And then houses made of white bricks rather than red bricks is very Baltics. And Russia and Ukraine, I suppose, as well. But we got the Gen 4 camera in 2024 copyright, so definitely leaning towards normal Baltics here. And, well, I would say that the best guess is probably Lithuania here. They like the white bricks the most. We've also got a dormer in the roof, which I would associate more with Polish architecture. So Lithuania obviously has close ties to Poland. And finally, the pole here, which is A-frame and concrete. So wooden poles are most common in Latvia, also more common in Estonia, but this kind of pole is the one that's more common in Lithuania. And yeah, they like the white insulators as well. Pretty common amongst the Soviet world though, so I will guess, and it was. And let's have a look at these folded edges here. So yeah, folded edges, but not all the way around. So well, I mean that specifically. So if they fold at the corner as well, then I would call that like a bordered sign or something. But this is the folded edges, which you see a lot in the Baltics and a few other countries, which I can't really think of at the moment, but just know it's a Baltic thing. Looks like we're back to me. And we get a chance for another fun meta here. So we do have red bricks this time, but the architecture looks very Baltic again, with the kind of non-tiled roofs or fake tiled roofs or whatever you want to call it. We also have this material, which we saw in yesterday's video as well, just very post-Soviet. But the big thing here is that we've got this sign set up for right-hand drive, and it has a very thick red border with a white edge. So Baltic's actually super nice for signs because you get the thick red border with the white edge in Latvia. You get the thin red border with the light edge in Lithuania, and then you get a thin red border with no white border beyond the red border So can you imagine there's two borders here? So here the red border, there's the red border and then a thin white border after. So what I'm saying is there's no white border after in Estonia. So we just know it's Latvia if it's there, if it's not Russia or something. 2023 copyright, that would lean us away from Russia. They kind of finished up publishing everything by 2022 in Russia, so mostly you see 2021 there. And yeah, the red bricks are a bit strange, but you know, they're Latvia and Lithuania, highly German influenced countries, so it's probably maybe like a Germanic background house or something like that. I'm not really sure why it's here, but not the most typical, but also not outfitting, not fitting. And the dirt road, super Baltic. The birch trees mixed with the spruces, mixed with the pines is very also Latvian. So yeah, in the end, a pretty simple and straightforward round. Next one here, we've got a fun one. So we got super red soil here, African person over there, walls around the houses, which also feels really good for Africa, and wooden poles. So there are only two countries, actually, or three countries, I think, which you should consider here, or four. There are four with two main options, I would say. So square blur at the bottom here would indicate that we're in a roof rack country or a tracker country, more specifically. So one that had the tracker camera mounted to like a bigger truck or something. And it's generation 3 with this square blur. And obviously they're all fitting here, but with the super red soil, I'd be leaning towards Ghana and Uganda. Why not Nigeria and Kenya? Most of the Gen 3 is overwritten in both countries. And even Nigeria, mostly, they're not using... They don't have that much red soil, especially with the wooden pole. They like concrete poles more. I would lean away from it. So really between these two. And this is where just having a vibe for it comes in. I feel like this house feels really Ugandan, and I'm not sure why. But bananas, I feel like that's also more Ugandan. It's both countries. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Ghana, but two, like, it's very hard to describe why. I feel like this slightly on an angle landscape is very Uganda. Like, the whole Kampala area is, like, on hills, but not big hills. So, yeah, I'm going to go here. And it was there. I don't know, guys. That's hard to explain as well, but... Yeah, the square blur, you'll often see that. If it's not facing the car, then the square blur will be very useful. Okay, here we have EWPs, Eastern White Pines. The needles on the pines are very thin. You can go and check this yourself on the round. Links in the description, of course. And the branches kind of reach upwards. And specifically, they have this kind of fuzzy texture. It is hard to exactly describe Eastern White Pines properly, but once you have played a lot, you know. And they are very useful. They kind of follow the appellations. I would say you get tons of Eastern White Pine, like Maine, Montreal, Ottawa, and then through here they kind of continue down. You will actually get them in the mountains all the way down to Atlanta. You will almost never see them in the west of the country or in the center of the country. You will see them in Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota sometimes, Ohio sometimes, you know, this kind of area sometimes, and they're just particularly scattered throughout this region. Default guess, if you see a lot of them, would be Northeast US. And we also have like kind of a rock wallish thing going on here, which is also Northeast US, obviously speed limit, so if it said maximum, it would be Canada. If it's speed limit, we know it's US. Front number plates here is also leaning towards the north. And blue number plate. So blue number plate, I would say, in this context, with the blue at the top like that, would, I think, make sense for Connecticut, which is one of the states that has blue. Connecticut's a nice pure blue. Massachusetts a nice pure red through the blur. So they're two of the easier ones to remember in the Northeast. The other ones are kind of... One, Vermont's pure green. So you get like the 3 RGB colors right here. Connecticut. I think it's Connecticut. Eastern White Pine, rock wall, wooden building, blue on the number plate, double yellow, speed limit sign, US style post box. They like to do like big plastic ones in Canada if they even have them at all. And so I'm going to guess Connecticut here. Bit inland maybe. And yeah, it was there. And we end up with the almost 23k there, but the Australia was probably beyond me in terms of difficulty here. I don't even know. Is this road consistently... Maybe this road is consistently a little bit exposed, the Google car here, but Yeah, you can see that these trees, they are similar to the ones we were dealing with the other day. I think on this one's the trunk is thicker. And the landscape is very open and flat, so I don't really have too much else to say here, but that road is connecting all the way to Inamika. Yeah, that's a hard road. If you get that right, kudos. All right. Longer one today. I'll see you guys soon, and goodbye.